You're tuned in to RX Radio.
Welcome back. Another episode, RX Radio. I'm recording this probably about an hour before the episode goes up. If you're watching the video podcast, you're going to notice I'm adorning a nice bathrobe, and it's also like 5 a.m. in the fucking morning here in Dubai. My cat's losing his shit. Nuggie, come here. I don't know how people do it. Shout out cat owners. If you have any tips, do let me know. Big one. One of my favorites. I like talking about sports. I miss sports. So this episode, we sit around and we chat shit about our favorite sporting moments. Now, a lot of them are based around violence when there shouldn't be. That might be a bit of a dead giveaway as to what some of our favorite sporting moments might be. But interested in your guys' take on your favorite sporting moments. Now, before we get into the episode, Prescript L1 is back up for sale, so registration is now up. Semester is going to start in late May, early June. If I'm not mistaken, Prescript BARBELL is starting next week. So this is last call. Course is about full anyway. So if you guys are looking to sneak into this semester's L1, I suggest you do that ASAP. Get on that. So we got L1, we got BARBELL. Nutrition is up for sale as well. Dwayne's course, which is starting mid-June. If you guys are looking to take a nutrition course, this is the nutrition course. If you guys haven't, hello Nugget. If you guys haven't heard just about Dwayne's story, Dwayne's background academically, really second to none. There's no one I'd rather have teaching this for us than Dwayne. There's no one more qualified to teach it than Dwayne, as far as I'm concerned. So guys, do check that out. L1, BARBELL, skill acquisition. Killian Hamilton doing Killian Hamilton things. And you'll get some idea of what I mean this episode when I say Killian Hamilton doing Killian Hamilton things. So ton of fun in this episode, guys. Hope you like it. Also, I need your help. We get reached out a lot for podcast sponsors. We're kind of doing some numbers now which warrant maybe getting a sponsor, but I want to know what you guys want to pay less money on. Because if fucking Manscaped hits me up again, like, I don't understand how influencer marketing works. Like, I've never looked at a guy and be like, I wonder what he shaves his balls with. Like, so we're not gonna do lame sponsorships, and nothing against Manscaped. I just think it's a dumb idea, right? I just think it's real dumb to be like, hey, this is what I shave my sack with. Like, oh, okay, let's listen to this guy. So I think if there's companies out there that you guys fuck with, that you don't want to pay as much for their products, and we could be like an inside and talk about it, and we could get it out to our people, then let me know. Definitely down for that. Something we're going to look to explore. We don't want to sell out some stupid bullshit. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoy the episode. If you have a favorite sporting moment, head over to the @RX Radio Instagram page. Leave it. James Marshall's going to toss up some clips. So yeah, no more further ado. BARBELL L1. Skill acquisition, nutrition, a lot going on, a lot to learn. So guys, head on over, free.script.com. You guys enjoy the episode, and we'll see you next week.
Who am I, man?
Who am I? Not that one. We did that episode.
No, we did. Why am I here? Next one is Who Am I?
Who am I? Who are you?
That's the 90s Jackie Chan movie. Who am I?
What? All right. Tell me about Rayful Edmond.
So Rayful Edmond was a massive drug kingpin in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
He's been claimed to be partly responsible for the crack epidemic that caused Washington, D.C. to be, I think this is late 80s, early 90s, be the murder capital of the United States.
That's a lofty claim to put on one guy's shoulders, no?
This guy's like territory.
1,000 to 2,000 kilos per week.
Whoa.
This guy was making $300 million a year
selling rock. Holy shit. Okay.
Well, at the time he went to trial, newspapers were calling him the $300 million man. There's a really famous conversation between him and I believe it's John Thompson, who was coach of the Hoyas. Rayful Edmond used to go to Hoyas practices.
I don't know. First off,
Georgetown Basketball, which was a massive it still is a massive force, but was a massive force at the time. Alonzo Mourning, I believe, was on the team and was childhood friends with Rayful Edmond. But John Thompson actually confronted Rayful Edmond, king of murder capital city USA, and said, don't come here anymore. Like, if I catch you around my players, there's going to be a problem.
And did he respect that?
He did.
Wow, that's a gangster move.
Yeah, well, John Thompson is a gangster, bro. John Thompson was partly responsible for getting Allen Iverson out of jail. People don't know that. Allen Iverson was in jail, would have never made it to the NBA. John Thompson was a large part of why he got out.
Really? What was AI in for?
There was a racially motivated brawl at a bowling alley. And Allen Iverson got done for assault, I think when he was 18, but they tried him as an adult and put him in prison.
Wow.
And John Thompson was a big force behind getting him out.
I would imagine AI would fuck people up in a bowling alley.
I believe he'd fuck people up at bowling. Dude, have you ever seen him dribble a football?
What? A dribble at football?
Yo, pull it up. There's a video of AI straight up like doing crossovers with a football in the middle of the street.
Like, hold on. I just got to see it.
Dude, I can't
But
bounce
also,
a
too,
basketball.
like, I have a certain, I don't want to stereotype, but I'm stereotyping white people, so I feel like it's okay. All right, let's blow this up.
Yo, this is probably one of the coolest things I ever seen.
What?
That's a football, my dude.
Man, you know you're like what is going? The whole outfit was just. Now, can you go back to that number real quick?
Yo, he changed the whole game though. This is straight up AI. Dude got his hair braided while he was sitting on the sidelines. Look at that.
Yeah, dude. That's in the trap too.
Yeah.
Like that's
Tell me this guy didn't post up on MJ's
mad
first game.
handles.
I gotta be honest, that could be anybody though. I can't see.
Yo, we gotta edit that out.
I don't know, man. That's those kind of handles. That's only AI.
It's one and only.
Probably.
That's definitely AI.
So
the
I'm
answer and the question.
I'm just thinking of this going down in a bowling alley, thinking about white people that go to bowling alleys. Like I'm imagining like AI versus John Goodman in Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Like he probably tuned some people up.
Yeah.
Also, what was he doing at a bowling alley?
Bowling.
You know, he's probably dribbling bowling balls. That's probably what he was doing.
Yeah.
He got these kind of handles with an ovoid fucking football. Imagine what he could do with a 5-pin ball.
Yeah, that dude, greatest sporting moments. Allen Iverson.
No, greatest sporting.
Stepping over Tyrone Lue after he hits that three.
No. Practice.
Allen Iverson
The
practice.
single, I think, one of the most iconic sporting moments outside of the actual field of play has to be that. Basketball's got some fucking gems, though.
Basketball, because like I think basketball is a sport that like keeps finding its perpetual motion in creativity. Like basketball is a sport that we could trap in any generation or decade of a certain style of play, and someone shows up and just plays the game entirely differently than everybody else, and then changes basketball for the next 10 years. It becomes a different game.
I think honestly, I think a large part of the draw to that type of creative person is the fact that basketball is the least anonymous sport because there's no helmet, there's no face shield, there's no visor, there's no anything. And, you know, tennis players, you can like golfers, but it's like you can blend into the crowd so easily. Like I'm sure Rafa or like Federer or fucking Patrick Cantley can go to certain, if they go to golf courses or tennis courts, yeah, they're gonna get recognized. They go to Whole Foods, probably not.
Yeah.
Right? Where like the physical imposition of basketball players mixed with the, you know, how widely known they are. And I've actually had like basketball players explain this to me.
Yeah.
Like contrasting like having basketball players and football players in the same room. And I'm like, you know, hoopers are different. And this one kid was like, yeah, dude, like our face is fucking everywhere. Like we can't hide. Like,
and they're like the 0.1% of people on earth that are that size.
Yeah.
Like Carmelo Anthony, pull up his stats. I'm going to say Carmelo
6'10".
Anthony's 6'10",
Yeah.
260 maybe.
Yeah.
King of New York, bro, forever. Carmelo.
What's he at?
This guy's 2 meters tall. What?
What is? I don't even know what 2 meters is.
It's real far away.
Tall as fuck. 6'7".
That's
insane.
but that's undershooting it because I met Carmelo Anthony All-Star Weekend outside of MSG.
Actually,
this dude is tall, way taller than Pedlo.
Yeah, Peds is like 6'5".
Yeah, Carmelo
6'6".
Anthony. I don't trust that Wikipedia. Yeah, this is dude. What is his? This is stats when he was 16, bro. 238.
No, not at 6'7". You're anorexic if you're fucking 6'7".
Yeah,
238.
Dude, LeBron's bigger than that.
Yeah, LeBron's a monster.
But yeah, like these are just people that are different, right? And I think the sport has fewer players, and it's a sport. It's a sport of one supported by many, not a sport of many supported by each other. You know what I mean? Like we can all name the best player on every team, right? There's always a big three.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's a sport that I consistently have not followed, but I'm more aware of the perennial all-stars in basketball somehow just through proxy of social media or popular culture. And I was a dedicated hockey fan for the large part of the early half of my life. And I could not tell you who, like, I mean, I'm assuming Ovi's still around. I don't think Crosby's retired. But other than that, someone named a kid on the Buffalo Sabres the other day that's worth, like, I don't know, he's getting like 15 sheets a year. Never heard his name before. Could walk into this building right now and ask him if he's lost. So basketball seemingly has endless possibilities, kind of to your creativity point. Like, have you ever seen the statistic on the underhand shot? When the underhand shot gained popularity? No. Malcolm Gladwell did a thing where one guy was doing free throws, and he shot all his free throws underhand because he moneyballed it. And was like, the likelihood that I'm going to score this underhand versus overhand is actually way higher. So there's like this guy and his father that went through, I want to say they made it to the NBA, that were shooting all of their free throws underhand. And there seems to be an acceptance with it. It's like, look, as long as you're sinking baskets, we don't give a fuck how it goes in, right? Like, it doesn't matter whether you're doing like fucking, who had, was it Julius Urban? The sky hook? It's like, that was a very unconventional move. So it's a sport that seemingly welcomes, or at least doesn't demonize, like, unconventional behavior or play.
Because it's very much like this sport of, like, by any means necessary, right? Like, you have a ball, and the target is a hoop, and just get it over there.
Yeah. There's not a ton of rules. There's also not implements, and violence isn't a huge part of the game.
Less now than, like, 80s, 90s.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're not talking about, like, Meta World Peace running up in your
Malice in the Palace?
Dude,
Malice in the Palace.
Malice in the Palace, that's greatest sporting moment of all time.
You're going to put it up there? Can you find it?
Name me a sport in which, number one, a guy enters the stands to beat a player or beat a fan.
Kind of in Philly. Great
but
story.
Fan comes on the court and Jermaine O'Neal
terrible idea.
Slides into second and punches this dude in the face.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, Ty Domi's 5'5" if he's an inch. Like, that's all Ty Domi is. Yo, Wallace, talk about it. How sick was this team though?
Oh, this
Palace of Auburn Hills, like, you don't come into Detroit thinking you're gonna, like, you know, this ain't Spike Lee, dog. Like, you're gonna get hurt. And then what? The shoe comes in from the fucking 17th row.
The cup.
Oh, was it the cup first?
Yeah.
And the guy was trying to hit him.
To square up too.
Oh, what a bad idea.
Man, you remember watching TV? You fucking couldn't see shit. Like,
yeah, how bad is there's old man? Someone's running up in your stands, dog. Terrified.
Oh man.
That guy
He's
is
like,
just
what?
Man, shouts out third, fourth, and fifth man in. Check out the wingspan on our test right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't go up against Artest and Jackson. Steven Jackson's a wild card, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up wild card.
And this is a little guy holding on to fucking Ben Wallace's leg. Like, what are you doing, dog? Let it go. Amazing. Yeah, dude, this is up there.
This is up there. I don't know if there's video of it, but another wild, violent moment in basketball was Latrell Sprewell, who was one of the greatest mid-2000s shooters. He had, I think they were he had signature Data shoes that had spinners on them. Like spinner wheels on his shoes, the Latrell Sprewells. But Latrell Sprewell chokes a coach. LATRELL
You never heard the name before?
Latrell?
Sprewell. No, wait, who made the shoes?
I believe it was Data.
Wait, you want to choke coach?
Yeah, I don't even know if there's video. Choking. Yeah.
All right.
Is this it? Because, yeah, Latrell Sprewell, lights out shooter long before JR, chokes a coach.
That's
because he's an animal. He went on to play with the Timberwolves with Kevin Garnett.
All right, let's
big
see
duo.
This. We're
I like how greatest sporting moments has turned into basketball players just doing people in.
It's basically World Star.
Okay, I was just gonna say that's a Rodman Spurs moment.
It's in there somewhere.
I got it. I shout out to. Whoa, yeah.
Dude, Rodman is.
I think the Ty Domi one's sick. What I liked about the Ty Domi one was that it was a communal effort. That he was in the penalty box with a guy on the Flyers, and he asked him what color his Gatorade was, because the guy who was like getting in his ear and jawing him had a white shirt on. So the guy in the other penalty box from the Flyers that Domi just fought was like, "Oh, it's red." He's like, "Give it to me." So the guy that Domi just fought gave him his water bottle full of red Powerade, and then Domi started fucking spraying it on the guy. Is this it?
No, this is Isaiah Thomas catches the elbow off of. Was this against the Lakers?
Oh, he chokes the coach though.
This
You
is
find it? Oh.
yeah.
Wait, who is that?
That's his coach. That's Daly,
Yeah, that's a bold move, man.
possibly. This is Bad Boys era.
Yeah, that was.
Whoa. That's got to be a fireable offense.
I was at this dunk contest.
Come on.
Yeah.
Is that
it was-
MSG?
Yeah, no, that was where Brooklyn plays, Barclays. Same weekend.
Insane.
Yeah, Latrell Sprewell.
Yeah, all right. So favorite sporting moments of all time. Off-court antics edition, I think. All right. AI's practice one's got to be up there. The Malice at the Palace is up there. I'm a big, just a hockey fan, the Domi thing.
The Domi incident. Boxing moment when Spinks jumps off the car and punches the other boxer.
What?
Spinks' dad?
I thought, a modern day contender for the
It would be
off-court
Leon.
antics is the fucking Canelo Plant move. Dude.
What is Canelo?
You,
I know
do you see
Canelo.
that?
What is the Plant?
He fought Plant back his last fight. And the pre-fight interview, when Plant fucking took a swing at him and Canelo ducked it, stayed in the pocket, and oh, buddy, you didn't see that? It was like 6 months ago. Like that right there would have been enough for me. If I'm Plant, I'm not taking the fight. He manhandled him in the press conference. Like they were doing the photo nose to nose. Yeah.
If your last name is Alvarez and you have red hair, you know you've grown up fighting.
Okay, watch this though. Watch how quick this motherfucker is. Play that back. Watch his right hand as he charges up. Back a little bit more, Lundy. Back a little bit more. So as Plant's walking up, watch. Right there. Ditches the sunglasses. Did you see that? Run it back. One of the best. Sunglasses gone. Boom. Left, right. Hits him with the 1-2 on stage. You're not going to win this fight. Right? He just dumb it. You thought you had the upper hand, and he's still 2 moves ahead. Incredible.
Boxing's a different breed, man.
Well, the thing is, now my hesitation with this is they are starting to see, like the Jake Paul era has started to give rise to the importance of moments like that. So now it's how much of this is choreographed moving forward.
How much of it wasn't always choreographed, though?
I don't know, man. There was such an animosity. It's such a story because there were so few of them, right?
But I like boxing, and that's why I've never understood like the animosity behind the Pauls or like McGregor. Is like boxing is a showboating sport.
Right.
Muhammad Ali is the greatest shit talker of all time.
Yeah.
Like this is a sport that's just so much full of bark, you know?
But they were vying. The actual physical presentation of the sport itself needed less. You need to have a strong storyline heading into a boxing match with a guy who doesn't box.
But you've just always needed it. I feel like I think it's never been not existing in boxing.
I don't know, man. Like
this is a
you went
storyline
out of
based
your
sport.
Yeah, but the storyline was like the kid came from a hardened neighborhood, and he came up boxing under this coach and this coach and this coach have a beef. Like because there was only like a handful of guys that you really knew their name, but they were international household names. I remember being 9 years old and knowing who Lennox Lewis was.
Yeah, Lennox Lewis versus Tyson.
Right, but now if you looked at if you asked a 9-year-old who the best boxer in the world was in the heavyweight division, it's like they're not going to know.
But it's like, but why did you know those household names? Because they made it a theatrical presentation.
Yeah, but it was also a barrier of entry that was like the sport had prestige to it. It was romanticized. Now it's lost that, and what it's lost in that romanticization is had to pick up in the theatrics.
I just think boxers have always kind of talked shit, and there's always been someone annoying, and I think you're just seeing now people getting upset because it's a rich person from YouTube doing it.
Okay,
and that's
fair
like,
enough.
I think a lot of it behind it is like, oh, I hate those Paul guys because they have millions of dollars and this guy just makes a joke of the sport. It's like, he's not saying anything different that no other boxer has said.
Fair enough.
And regardless of if he is good or bad, or if guys take dives when they fight him, people have always taken dives in boxing.
Yeah.
It's a sport full of controversy and nonsense. And everyone's always talked shit. Like, he's not saying a new thing.
Right.
Everyone says the same thing.
Okay, what about on court, on field? So let's go top 5 honorable mentions, off court antics, favorite sporting moments of all time. We're gonna go Malice at the Palace.
Yeah, big one.
We're gonna that's
Sprewell chokes the coach. Rasheed Wallace gets teed up for staring at a ref.
I tee him up. Terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying.
Domi takes the guy over the glass. The Domi story is really interesting.
Domi story's great.
He settled it out of court. He flew the guy into Toronto with his family, put him up in like the Fairmont. It was costing him, dude. He ended up because he was on the hook for the Flyers. He was on the hook for the Leafs. He was on the hook for the legal bill of the fucking. They were suing the stadium and everything. So he ended up like he's like I had breakfast. I think Biz, the fucking Paul Bissonnette had him on Chiclets, and they told the story. And so he ended up settling it out of court, but it was like a thing. It went on for like 6 or 8 months. It turned out to be really expensive. Malice Palace, Spreewell, Sheed. Domi. I like this one as a recent honorable mention. What about on court, on field, favorite sporting moments?
What is one of my favorite on field?
Have you ever seen the fight at Joe Louis with?
We're just going fights. That's our favorite.
Yeah,
with, 98 with fucking Claude Lemieux, and then we went Osgood back-to-back years. Patrick Waugh, Mike Vernon.
That was
shout out Mike Vernon doesn't get enough play because Mike Vernon was throwing hands.
But that was a 1 year thing in the making. Like they fucked up. I think it was Draper. Lemieux hit Draper into the boards. Fucked his face up, and McCarty.
Yeah.
Probably on
lately.
Have you seen Darren McCarty?
Yeah,
dude,
he's active on Twitter.
We should get him on the podcast.
Dude, I think if we gave him a pack of smokes, he'd come on.
I was just going to say, we should give him a few bucks, get him on the podcast.
Get him some chips to like the Caesars Windsor.
Yeah, Darren McCarty, don't be offended, man.
$100 worth of Caesars Windsor chips.
Yeah,
come on.
Do him for 10 minutes.
Not doing. Didn't Illich like pay him off or something?
Yeah.
Isn't he like living out of Illich's pocket because he has like a lot of gambling debts and stuff?
Huge gambling debt.
Illich, man.
Illich is dead now, though. Rest in peace.
Actually, though,
Little Caesars.
No way. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, a couple years back. And then everybody like freaked out about how they're going to ruin the team. Then they brought Stevie Y back, and here we are. Yeah, Stevie Y. Wings are back, baby.
Toast to the city, man.
So like really favorite on ice sporting moments is anything from that dynasty of the Red Wings for me.
Crazy.
Yzerman, Lindstrom, Shanahan, Fedorov, like that era.
Yeah.
Even leading into Zetterberg, Datsuk, like
Brett
Hall, Draper, like you said.
The Russian Five, man. Late 90s, 98, 97.
Man, and then they crashed the limo. And
Konstantin Konstantinov, R.I.P. That's why I wore number 16 as a kid.
Yeah.
He was my favorite player. Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, dude. It was wild. I mean, Konstantin lived. But there's two other guys in the car, plus the agent.
Yeah.
That was a shame. Crazy on ice for sticking to hockey first. Not really like a play moment. Do you remember when the goalie for Philly got his throat cut?
Yes.
His name was Clint Malarchuk.
Yes.
Dude, wild. You know the story of the guy on the bench?
So a friend of mine, this isn't that story, but a friend of mine wrote the autobiography of Malarchuk and Pat Quinn.
No shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be a wild one. Clint Malarchuk, the only reason he's alive is the fucking athletic trainer for Philly, I'm pretty sure it was Philly, was in the military. So before anyone had realized what was going on, this guy had the fucking towel wrapped around his knuckles and he was running on the ice. So the ref saw the guy running on the ice, didn't even know what was happening. He was halfway to the fucking hash marks before the first fucking hit the thing, and he just literally took his hand and just dove his towel wrapped hand right into the open wound on his throat.
Crazy.
It was it was probably one of the wildest things. Yzerman ate a slap shot to the orbital bone. That was pretty rough.
That was insane.
Clarkson got his Achilles cut by a skate, which is like, that's always pretty gangster.
You know what's scary is seeing the guys like, was it not Probert? Pronger. Pronger took a puck to the chest.
Yeah.
And just like kept going and then just boom, died.
Collapsed.
Dude, Paul Correa got Scott Stevens stepped up on him and like just had the fucking speed wobbles. Like couldn't even get to the bench. Completely concussed, doesn't even begin. He was hemorrhaging. Like had a brain hemorrhage.
Scott Stevens, man. Get him on the podcast.
Ruthless. I think he's probably similar Darren McCarty fate, I would imagine.
I don't know. I feel like Scott Stevens is like doing well. I think he's just some old dude
that just fuck people up for a living. All right, so on ice moments, I think
all just violence.
Well,
we've only chosen
the storyline around
leading
the 97, and we're a little bit like biased just given our proximity to it. But I think all-time hockey moments, at least in our lifetime, hockey's really hard to top.
Yeah,
that 97-98 back-to-back cup run, Colorado meets Detroit. The city's nuts. They got the fucking statue downtown outside the courthouse with the huge Osgood jersey on. Like, really, I don't know if you'd have a better like time and place, like intersection of a team doing well and a city that needed a team to do well, right?
Hockey
like
town.
it's one thing to have the
Hockey
Boston
USA.
dynasty pop off, right? And have like the Bruins, fucking Patriots, and the Red Sox all win. But I don't think Boston was in the place that Detroit was in 98. That was peak level, like 8 Mile shit. Like you didn't, you would go to games, but you wouldn't go to Detroit.
That was the thing. You drive right out of the tunnel.
You get the
Kobo's
bus
right there.
Dude, you'd literally take the city bus.
Yeah.
From
the
downtown.
bus dropped you right off at Kobo.
Yeah.
You walked in. You were inside the whole time.
Yeah, it had
as
to
soon
be.
as you got outside to the steps going up to the Joe,
Yeah.
crackheads and fucking scalpers. It was
And like,
amazing.
but you were going. I don't think people, like, especially where we are now, like the proximity to Toronto, like you go to a Red Wings, like a peak era Red Wings game for under $40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get $25 ticket to the Red Wings game.
Yeah.
And now a Leafs ticket in the fucking bleachers for a team that's never won in the last 50 years is what?
$250.
Yeah.
You're touching the back wall of the ACC.
And you're seeing one of the greatest hockey teams of all time for $25 just to make your way through the needles on your way there.
I got a hard time with going to games now because I went to games back then.
That's the thing. Like when I was a kid, I was going to Red Wings games.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
pissing
see a
in the
fucking-
trough, baby.
Yeah.
Dude, no one will know that.
No
one will know that. And that was like, I don't know. I've never went to sporting events at that age at a different venue.
No, that's where I remember it. It's burned into my mind.
But also they had it at old Tiger Stadium as well.
Yeah.
Detroit.
go there.
Yeah.
Old
Old
Tiger
Tiger
Stadium.
Stadium.
You ever been to the Silver Dome?
Yeah,
Dude,
absolutely.
what
Come on
the
now.
fuck?
Pontiac
Silverdome?
Silverdome. That was before the Palace.
Yeah.
I saw the Pistons play Michael Jordan. I saw Jordan play live. My dad somehow copped tickets through work. Like 10 other people were in line for him.
The
And they
old
couldn't
outdoor
go.
basketball.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Such a ridiculous way to watch sports. But yeah, Palace of Auburn House. But I think, you know what, greatest sporting moments, it's like greatest time of sports in our lifetime was 98 to 2005. I think across the board, across all sports.
Tiger was still doing Tiger things.
Oh,
I think Tiger was
man.
top of the world.
And
Although
like-
I do like the redemption that Tiger had. Like I like that Tiger Woods came back and
Post
won
golf
it.
club through the window.
Yeah, like we're talking like 2 years ago, came back and won.
But then he wiped out in the Buick, right?
But yeah, but it's okay. That was I mean, his ex-wife wasn't thrilled with the Swedish supermodels and all that. But I think golf for me it has had some big moments.
Yeah.
I think Tiger Woods just being the red jersey Tiger, probably around the same era.
Yeah.
Like
For sure.
early
Same
2000s
time. Yeah.
when he was really
That was his
popping off.
heyday.
Like that was when the best of our generation were coming up.
Well, it was like him and Michael Jordan were big at the same time. And that's like, obviously Nike's always been big, but like to have Tiger Woods and Jordan on the fucking hook.
And you know what? In a sport like golf, to have a black person do that,
Yes.
at
Demolish
that
people.
time was
Demolish
crazy.
them.
You basically had an old boys club in golf, which was
Especially at that time.
everybody looked the same, did the same. You know, you had a couple guys come in, like Phil Mickelson.
I was just going to
Phil.
say.
He was like the quintessential California golfer. Like he was supposed to be the guy.
But Phil's lefty. He's Canadian.
No,
he's
that
not
was Mike
Canadian.
Weir.
Mike Weir, yeah.
But remember when Mike Weir...
Phil's lefty. That's what he is. Yeah.
Remember
okay.
when Mike Weir got the jacket?
Yeah, big
yeah.
year.
That's
Big.
exciting.
That was big. Canadian sports icon right there.
Yeah.
Legend.
Shout out Mike Weir, get him on the podcast.
That's gonna be just speaking into
He's
existence.
probably from Windsor.
But then VJ Singh came around.
Yeah.
After that, but
Yeah,
that was,
like he changed
Opened a
golf
door.
completely with the deal, the Nike deal, the
Buick
Buick
deal.
deal.
yeah,
Yeah.
like everything he
Yeah.
did was like
Duracell,
totally
I think he
different.
had the bunny. What's the bunny battery?
Energizer?
Energizer, sorry. That was, I think Tiger Woods also had an Energizer deal
Crazy.
because I think there's an Energizer bunny Tiger Woods commercial.
And even Michael Jordan with his shoes. And,
Well, that
and
forever,
everything.
man.
Hanes.
They changed the way that athletes got paid, basically.
Yeah.
In that era.
Now, question to you: OBJ just took his salary from the Rams in crypto.
Big mistake.
Big mistake. You're thinking big mistake. Okay, so you're not thinking that this is another singularity moment like a Michael, where it's like
No.
Michael's shoe deal. I mean, LeBron comes before Michael and is the same player relative to the era. It's LeBron's deal. It's the heir LeBron forever.
Yeah.
LeBron,
Lifetime
they'll
LeBron.
never. That set a precedent around endorsement deals that you just don't do this anymore because MJ's living off the interest forever.
Well, Kobe Bryant, his deal ended in his untimely death with Nike.
So what? It was when you pass away, this deal goes. So nothing to the estate.
Nothing.
Wow.
That was the big deal with Vanessa Bryant, is they had these shoes designed, and then Kobe died, and she thought Nike would release it, and they would still get the money.
Royalties, yeah.
And then Nike canned the shoe, and there's like 10 of these shoes like floating around.
No way.
And Nike was like, yeah, peace out. The deal's over.
Yikes.
To the dude with the longest career in basketball?
Yeah, not a good look on Nike's behalf.
Like, what a weird play.
Yeah.
And they were just like, oh, there's no more Kobe shoe.
Crazy.
Wiping him off the face of the earth. Yeah, that's tough. I don't know.
But I don't see the crypto thing being a smart play long term. Maybe I'm just old fashioned.
Yeah.
But I just think physical currency, for as long as we're going to have, government, sovereign government, like physical currency is currency, man. You ride this Bitcoin wave.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you got $30. Like, you're already in a sport where you could age out tomorrow.
Right.
And your salary's paid in Skittles. I would like the physical money,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand crypto enough. To me, it's just another fiat currency.
People took big dips. Like, there were a lot of early adopters, NFL, that took Ethereum salaries. But then, like, Ethereum since bounced back. I don't know where it is now, but Ethereum
It's huge.
But Ethereum took a massive dip, like a 80% dip at one point.
Interesting.
So there's guys who are getting their check on Sunday that were getting, let's just say, $10,000, and then they rolled up and got $2,000 the next week.
Yeah, that's a risk.
Relative like that, and in football, that's not a risk I would want to take.
No, for sure. Especially given like the average lifespan of a career.
That's 5 years.
Yeah, that's
5 years is like a good one if you're not one of the best.
So I think the reason why, and I don't know too much about crypto, but I know it's based a lot on like hype.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the more hype they can put behind something, the better that thing's going to do.
Shout out Leonard Fournette, Gamecoin.
Yeah. Somebody like Odell who says, I'm taking Bitcoin because I believe in this, is going to get guys who maybe see Odell and they're like, yeah, he's dope. And then like, oh, he's taking Bitcoin. Like, let's get into Bitcoin.
Right.
But
the more people at the low end that get into Bitcoin, they're the ones in the end who are left holding the bag.
But Elon hops on Twitter and tanks it again, right?
Yeah.
And he tanked it when he said, we're taking it, we're not taking it anymore. And then fucked everybody.
Yeah.
So, like, that's just a worrisome thing for me.
That's called the pump and dump.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, shout out Steve Madden shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think the volatility, like China did it. Like China was like, yeah, no more cryptocurrency. It's like, well, it's one thing for a country to not fall. Like, you'd have to, in order for China to do what it did to crypto, to do what it did to the US dollar, it would have to put in massive trade embargoes that ultimately fuck China over.
It has to be a war.
Right,
like
exactly.
The country doesn't need to exist for the US dollar. Like, talk about an investment. 30 cents on the dollar?
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking. I was like, I'll take any money I get in USD, please, because I'm guaranteed a 30% bonus on the work completed.
Yeah.
For every dollar of work I do, I get 30 cents more. That is a lifetime deal.
Yeah.
Because when's the last time the US dollar dipped below, like for us in Canada, dipped below $1.25, $1.20? Like,
it was down. It was down to par for a bit, and then
mid to late 90s.
Yeah. And it always comes back. I remember going to Wings games, and it was $1.50.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Like, it's been up, but like it's rarely been below $1.20.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last time it was close to par, gas was 61 cents.
Yeah.
Like, I literally remember going to Lowe's on Road and fucking whatever where Jesse lives, and going to that gas station that's not there anymore, and gas was 61 cents. And my dad's like, U.S. is on par. Let's go to Mexican Town or something.
Yo, shout out Mexican Town. People don't know about Mexican Town.
They don't. That place is sick.
Yeah, shout out Mexican Town. If you haven't been, just outside of the core of Detroit is Mexican Town, which looks like Mexico.
Yeah. Safer now.
Yeah.
Much
and
safer.
You can buy beer in the street and bring it into any eating establishment.
Just like Mexico.
Just like Mexico.
All right. So sporting moments on the field. All right. We've kind of had some weird outliers. What about like the big ones? Are you a baseball fan?
Baseball.
All right. Well, hit me with the baseball one.
Bat flip.
Batista
bat flip. Yeah. I was there.
Oh, what? How were you the accountant in all of these things? Like, that's what you're talking about, Joey Batts.
Yeah.
Really?
I had tickets to all of the postseason baseball games.
Dude, that was power play. You know what he was doing? He was big dogging him.
Yeah.
Big dogging him, Lundy.
And what's the song where he's like, Superman video, I was in the back.
What are you talking about?
That's D12.
Oh, man, we were on a D12 run yesterday.
Yeah. What am I
like, we're just, you know what it is, Lundy? I think we're all getting homesick of the holidays.
It was this is all around the same time. Like MSG hosting the All-Star game. I flew to New York just to go to the All-Star game because I always wanted to see a game at MSG. And then the bat flip, living in Toronto, I just spent every paycheck I had that month. I was just scalping tickets for this. And then I ended up like 5th row with my best friend, Trevor Tompkins, at this bat flip game.
Just show me the bat.
High and out. Yeah, YouTube just shows you the whole fucking
I don't need
game.
the whole goddamn inning.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
You can't see tits on YouTube, but I can watch every pitch of this inning. This is ridiculous. Dude.
Can we talk about one of the best moments of all time was when, remember the bench clear between the fucking New York and Boston? And who was it? Was it
Martinez? Pedro Martinez.
Oh, do it, Joey.
Flip that bat, you motherfucker.
Yeah, that was big. Big for Toronto. Show the fucking thing.
Yeah, you gotta show the flip. That made everybody go nuts.
Yeah, that was a power play.
Dude, it was. This is the loudest thing I've ever been at.
Oh, get out of here.
Big dog in him.
Did he get fined for that?
Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
Yo, did you see fucking Freddie Van Leet go with the big cojones thing a couple weeks ago? Hey, Lundo, did you see that?
No.
Look up
Big balls?
Yeah, the cojones.
So the big balls basketball Sally.
You got fined 15 G's for it.
People seemingly forget Big Balls was originally done by Sam Cassell on the Timberwolves.
Come on. Oh yeah, there it is too.
Yeah, it does the Big Balls dance. This is a Sam Cassell move.
But there's no way Cassell got fucking teed up for it.
No, I don't think he did.
He got nothing. What? Wait for it. Oh man, the camera guys. What an acquisition, though.
You gotta look up Cassell Big Balls after this, and his name's probably not Sam. Probably misremembering.
Paul Cassell.
Yeah, hey!
That's great, Sally.
Cassell Big Balls. Sam Cassell Big Ball celebration. Yeah, see on the T-Wolves, the history of the Big Balls dance. Hey! Yo!
I can't remember.
This Timberwolves team was wild.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But how about the other thing? What the fuck is his name? The shot from the corner, the Raptors, when they won the championship.
Kawhi.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard.
The fall down?
That shot is like
immortalized.
Yeah,
that's real good.
At least Canadian basketball.
They have a spray and paint on the side of Forever Young, the tattoo shop in Toronto. Shout out Lee Baxter Management.
One of my other favorite on-court moments, Kobe shooting a free throw with a torn Achilles.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, that is. And then he has to get helped off the thing.
Stays in the game and shoots his own free throw.
Or
with a torn
MJ
Achilles.
closing his eyes to shoot a free throw. Come on. Those guys are crazy.
Allen Iverson step over Tyronn Lue. That was a big moment.
What was the one you were the baseball guy, or sorry, the baseball guy that with a bench clear where he dumped
Pedro?
Was it Pedro Martinez?
Pedro Martinez was a big Boston fight,
but he dumped the old guy from the
that's Pedro Martinez
versus the fuck is his name? He's the manager.
Yeah.
What's his like? It was on Lou Piniella.
Yeah, Don Zimmer.
Don Zimmer. He just fucking throws him, like grabs him from the jowls
from the head
and just tossed him.
Big takedown.
Oh man,
and that's big Dominican energy.
And it's funny because like two of the sports, and like maybe it's the unconventional nature or like how rare it is to see violence in baseball. Like it's not rare to see every play you see violence in football and hockey, but to see high heat
throwing high.
Yo, I love it though, because these guys are like, especially some of the dudes from the South, like. They're gonna throw. Like they grew up in neighborhoods where it's like this is every day. Like this is Sandlot every day.
You're
for
playing
these guys.
wiffle ball in Dominican.
Here we go. Who you got? So good, man. YouTube's really fucking the dog today. What's happening?
What's going on here with this?
But yeah, like this is, I don't know. It's funny that the sporting moment. What about like?
Take that, Don Zimmer.
Yeah,
grab him right by the ears. Oh fuck.
Shout out this guy, though, for thinking that that's a good idea. Yeah. This guy's 35 years my junior, and I'm going to come out guns blazing. Like, guy looks like Wilford Brimley with a Yankees cap on. Oh, that does not end well.
That's crazy.
Now, do we have, like, a favorite, like, actually to do with the sport moments?
Barry Bonds breaking the record was that whole race. him and Mark McGuire to
Barry Bonds pinning in the change room. No, I'm kidding. That's my favorite
Barry
part.
Bonds,
The
Mark McGuire.
The Mark McGuire is standing in front of Congress.
Sammy Sosa, like that whole home run era where juice was plentiful.
A recent favorite sporting moment is Derrick Rose scoring 56 in a game. I don't know. Look it up. What did Derrick Rose score? I want to say it was 56.
I got to go Olympics with it. I got to go to Vancouver 2010 gold, Canada versus U.S.
Okay.
A Ginla off the half wall to Crosby, past
50,
Miller.
sorry.
Fucking Miller time, baby. That, for me, was one of the most memorable sporting moments of my life, was watching Canada beat the U.S. and Crosby taking it home in Vancouver. I think that was it, especially like just the way the play ran out. Go ahead, run this.
Well, this is crazy because Derrick Rose drops 50 seemingly after everyone has counted him out in his career, right? Multiple injuries. He comes back with the dreads, gets picked up on a shit contract with the Timberwolves, and he drops 50.
So it's similar. He looks like J. Cole. Similar redemptive style to like the Tiger Woods thing.
Yeah, and it's just like, I just love this moment because this guy's counted out by the league. People are talking shit. He rolls up as like the humble veteran on this team and drops 50 on these kids. Like,
that's big.
This is a cool moment.
Yeah, shout out.
Other non-on-field moment, but it's an honorable mention with the people we're mentioning, is Gilbert Arenas on the Washington Wiz, number 0, pulling the gun in the locker room.
What?
Yeah. Gilbert Arenas
Like a heater?
Yeah, he pulls a heater out of his bag in the locker room. I believe it was due to gambling debts.
So he was worried that some guy was going to come collect.
I don't know who was on the end of the collection, but Gilbert Arenas did bring a gun to the locker room. Sorry.
As a joke.
Yeah, it's not as a joke.
Yeah, that's what I would have told everyone too.
Yeah.
It's a prop gun. So they didn't have an image?
No.
Okay.
It's about calling his bluff. Say you're going to shoot me, I'll bring the guns to it.
Oh, fuck.
Yo, shout out Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah. He's not to be trifled with.
But yeah, that would be my last big moment. Randy Moss paying his fine in cash.
Didn't see that.
Leaning the paparazzi show up and he pays. I think he pulls the cell phone out from under the pad, and then they find him like 15 G's, and he rolls up with an envelope full of cash.
That's amazing.
And he winds his window down. He's like, right here.
Big flex. Well done.
But yeah, it's funny. Like, all of our favorite sporting moments are athletes behaving badly.
Yeah, I think there's a couple on court ones. Like, I mean, for me, the gold medal Olympics, that's a good one. Like, there's some redemptive sporting moments. You got one? The helmet catch was a good one.
That was, yeah. There's always one big Super Bowl play. Was it him?
The Giants? Was that when Odell was with the Giants?
It might have been
Odell, yeah.
Yeah. Could you?
I know he had some crazy. His coming out was like his one-handed grabs. That
just
were,
he practices it.
Yeah,
literally him and fucking Jarvis. They'll put the fucking machine at 50 miles an hour. And they just put their face in front of it, and they just fucking dodge back and forth.
One big one this year for me is who's that? I forget that guy's name. David Tyree. That's who.
Okay.
But yeah, this year, Michigan Wolverines.
Talk about it.
They were like, not supposed. This was the year where they're like kind of rebuilding still and whatever. Right. They're now going into the BCS playoffs for the first time in like 10 years. They beat Ohio State.
Always big.
Huge, because Ohio State's run the table the past 15 years. I think Michigan's won 1 out of 15, now 2 out of 15. Ranked number 2 in the country. Go Blue. That's all I got.
So that's it. So it's Michigan winning.
Michigan, yeah, it's kind of the turnaround. Like
Harbaugh still there?
Harbaugh, that's the big thing. Is like they brought Harbaugh in. They spent $1 gazillion on him.
Literally.
He's been very good. He's winning records every year, but he hasn't beat Ohio State. He's lost to Michigan State a few times, but this is the redemption year.
I like it.
College football is a weird one, man. Like, they may have more money than God. And people are obsessed with it, and it is very bad football. If you watch it and I don't have a favorite NFL team. I just like football, and I'll just watch football. But favorite college team, because it's like kind of like, it's you like their basketball team, hockey team, whatever they do. Michigan fan. But I enjoy watching good quality football. Like, if there's a Monday night game and it's like the fucking Giants versus whoever, or the Jets versus whoever, I'm not going to watch it. I don't care. But if it's a good team, if it's like going to be good football, you get to see these fucking insane athletes do what they do best. I love it. It's so weird though. Like you usually have to pick a favorite team, but
college is a better storyline because you get the kids for a couple of years, right?
Yeah,
because you're not gonna get that in the league anymore.
No, and I think you get like big, just like maybe not big moments, like not these memorable like helmet catches, but you'll get like big games that you're like that was crazy. Like this would have been early 2000s, but it was USC versus Texas Longhorns, and that was like a huge Rose Bowl game.
Yeah,
because it was these two like equivalent teams that just came down to the other team making a mistake.
Yeah.
It was like two teams could have not been more similar, and it was just like, make a mistake, drop the ball.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was just a big overall game because you're like, there's no knowing going into this.
It's sad to see that. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's something that everyone feels when they've been watching sports for so long that, you just like that part of your, 97, 98.
It's a great time.
We were 8 years old, right?
That's the thing. Maybe you're just like, everything was awesome.
Yeah. Because something that's been bothering me about the direction of sports lately is the inundation of gambling back into sports. So like the legalization of online gambling be one of the biggest drivers to media outlets outside of your conventional Fox, NBC, whatever, right? Like the decentralization of the media machine into podcasts and things like that. That gambling now has, not that it probably ever wasn't a part of sports, but the accessibility of gambling around sports and how widely accepted that is something that just, I don't know, it doesn't sit well with me. Like there's a sanctity to sports from an athletics perspective that the second there's money on the line, and now it's like everything's an app and you can just do it from your phone. It's like, that's what it takes for people to get interested in it, is to have like physical skin in the game, like the passion behind sports to me. And maybe it's because like, I look at sports more objectively now because it's more part of a business, but it's always been tough, or it's been tough for me to see the last couple of years. McAfee, what's his deal with fucking the bet thing?
Dude, it's 4 years, 30 mil a year, 120 million. And that's like, so for context, 2 years ago, I think, Penn National Gaming bought Barstool Sports, like a section of Barstool Sports, to collaborate, like basically collaborate and have like sports books and whatever. Penn, FanDuel, Bet365, like all these other places are like, they're all fighting for these people. So their deal, they valued Barstool at 400 million or something like that, and they bought in for like 200 or like just under 200 million. So they bought almost majority shares.
Yeah.
So that's the company buying the company. This deal with McAfee is just advertising.
It's insane.
So in 2 years, what they've done, there's guys getting those $100 million deals, and it just keeps happening. What they're doing now is like crazy. If Barstool was to sell now with the way that everything is, the money would be at least 3 times. Like it's just grown so much.
Yeah, you're in the billions for sure.
Yeah.
If a guy running an ex-punter is running a fucking podcast, it's getting 120 million, and you sold 49% of your company for 200 million. It's like, yeah, you shake it. I don't know. For me, for sports, it's like I don't know if there's, and maybe it's because of a personal investment, because I don't play sports as actively anymore. I'm not as close to like watching seasons, but I don't know moving forward that if I were to ever to be asked about a sporting moment, that anything could trump the Malice at the Palace. Anything could trump the fucking rivalry between Claude Lemieux and fucking Darian Hatcher in 97, 98. And now it seems like it's just, I don't know, it's sullied a little bit to me. Like it's commercialized in a way that it couldn't have been before.
I would agree. I think there's like, even in the teams that we've mentioned the greatest sporting moments from, like we haven't mentioned LeBron doing anything. We haven't mentioned Jordan doing anything. It's not like we mentioned Sidney Crosby or whatever doing something. And I think it's like the sporting moments that we all remember. Maybe this is just because we're from Windsor and some of them are Detroit. But it's like a lot of the moments are by players that are seemingly relatively regular people.
Yeah.
Like obviously they get paid billions of dollars and they're like the 1% of athlete that's ever existed on the planet. But there's just something like real about all these people.
Yeah. Like I would have done that. Like I would have run up in the stands.
Yeah, and it's just
where
like
Crosby would never run up in the stands.
Yeah, and it's like also like I feel like their lives are pretty normal. You know, like they seem like people who do remarkable things but lead unremarkable lives. And I think sports even though in the early 2000s was celebritized, I think now because like I know Odell Beckham Jr. is a great football player, but I also know he's the voice of Aura Ring.
Weird.
And I think a mattress company. And it's like, that wasn't sports before.
Yeah.
It was like, Tiger Woods drives a Buick, but is seemingly a dude who also kills playing golf. But like other athletes now, you know them as everything else but the athlete they are. And I think it just took some of the grit away.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Like every athlete I've ever liked is someone I've never wanted to get in a fight with.
Yeah.
I've always been like, that guy's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Fingers crossed that changes. I feel like kids coming up now are going to be real tough.
And I think that's what you said is like the romanticism of it. I think we were in an era where like people still got beat up.
Yeah. And I think that's maybe why the sport of beating people up has gotten so popular.
I think so.
Right? Because it's like once there wasn't the chance that basketball players were going to run up in the stands because they're going to get fined too much. It's like, well, yeah, he's going to get that fine, but maybe we'll just pay a guy $65,000 to fight another dude in a cage if that's what you guys want.
And I think there's just an element of like, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could be in the place where I could do that.
Yeah.
Like who at their workplace doesn't want to beat up a fan?
Yeah. Or go into the like copy room and beat the shit out of like Greg or something like that.
Right, and it's like all of our moments are like a football player, a basketball player, somebody on TV doing something seemingly they shouldn't do, and there's an element of like, fuck, that's sick.
Yeah.
Like the fact he just did it.
Yeah, it's one thing to live vicariously through a touchdown or something like that.
Yeah.
It's another thing to like, there's an inherent risk to my career and livelihood, but this is a principle.
Yeah, exactly. It's like in this moment, this is most important.
Yeah, there's an honor to that you resonate with. I fuck with that. Fingers crossed that's not the case and sports continue to be badass forever. But I think it's cool to be able to take a retroactive snapshot.
Yeah, shout out Leonard Fournette.
What do you think would have happened if us growing up had all the access to the athletes that we do now, like social media, their stat lines at our fingertips? Like,
I think athletes were up to way more shit.
Oh, I think
it's so much cooler.
Yeah,
because it's like when the same athlete that's like,
they would all be in jail.
I know everyone can see me, and I'm still gonna punch this guy in the face 17 rows up. You know what that athlete does when you're not looking?
Yeah,
yayo. A lot of blood.
Welker.
Wes Welker?
Wes Welker being in the fetal position in the back of a club, ripped on MDMA on a Saturday night prior to the Sunday game.
What?
Yeah.
Well, dude, like think of Theo Fleury. Like retroactively looking at like, you read Playing with Fire.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is a time where no one knew what was going on with like hockey, and especially him, he had like, extenuating circumstances. But like here's a guy in a place, in a sport, in a time that being publicized wasn't a thing.
No.
And he was an animal.
Yeah.
Right? Jordan Tutu broke 3 guys' arms in bars, spiral fracturing them arm wrestling because he got like word got out that he was a really good arm wrestler.
That's fucked.
Yeah. So he was just like, no. And it would either he was going to arm wrestle people or he was going to fight them. And, spiral fractures suck, but probably being punched in the face by Jordan Tutu would suck a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's like you never heard about it. Right now we start to see like, Patrick Kane is like a perennial offender of some pretty heinous shit. He like beat the shit out of a cab driver for like 37 cents or something like that. But I think back in the day, you would have on some gang shit. Right? Darren McCarty, there was no fucking way that guy wasn't spending his weekends in Hell's Angels clubhouses.
Oh,
There's
no,
no
sure.
fucking way. It would have been sick. But I think you saw a reflection of how badass these guys were and how little fucks they gave by the actions on the ice. Now you're seeing a much more reformed. It's like, so-and-so is like, evading his taxes. It's like, and he also like travels when he plays
but like
basketball.
How sanitary is the come up in sports now too, with academies and institutes and science and everyone having an entourage,
and
right?
NIL.
And that's the thing, right? Like before, dude, sports was just sports. It was just people who were just sick. Like there wasn't all this science to do with a clipboard beside them when they were training. It was like a kid who was just like, oh, that was the best kid at school who did that. And then he eventually becomes the best kid in the world. And you're like, well, no shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope we'll get back to that. I think money's changed it forever, but fingers crossed. If you have your own favorite sporting moments, let us know.
Yeah. And if you're any of the athletes that I have said, get them on the podcast. And you actually listen to this.
Yeah, if anyone knows Darren McCarty, like he could be a standing segment on the show.
Darren McCarty, Scott Stevens, Latrell Sprewell, wherever you are.
Mike Vernon.
Gilbert
Vernon.
Gilbert
I saw
Arenas.
Chris Osgood once at Windsor Airport.
Very short.
Yeah, he's very short. He's flying
short.
to fucking, where's he from? Someplace in Alberta, like Grand Prairie or something like that.
Yeah, that's where the majority of the NHL is from. All right, guys, so that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. At Lumberjack Productions, at Killian.Hamilton, at RX Radio. We'll see you guys next week.